Hi, I am Krishna Iyer. I'm on the boards of a few publicly traded companies as well as NGOs. I would love to share how in the Being Centered Leaders program, my relationships have transformed and some of them continue to remain transformed. I was able to primarily enrich the relationship with my daughter. And just during the program itself, that one phone call I did, upholding her, seeing her at the highest, resulted in she showing up like that. Otherwise, I used to think that she's very irresponsible, she's someone who's very entitled, she's lazy, etc. But having seen her as someone who's very responsible, as someone who's very responsive, I found she showed up brilliantly. So the credit goes to the fact that she was already like that. But I did notice through that one relationship that was so transformed, that it remains transformed, that perhaps this is so valuable at work. I had always read that great leaders see your highest potential. I was inspired by a few leaders who never saw my faults, but always looked at my potential. And then that is when it felt very real that if it can happen with my daughter, what can it happen in day-to-day business life? So I started with one of my business partners. I started doing this with my employees. And every time this happened, that I was able to uphold them and see them at their best, they showed up like that. Yes, there were times that colleagues used to make mistakes. And my pet peeve is that why are people, making so many mistakes? Why are they not taking commitment and so on and so forth? Now, that's an altogether different story that my judgment was causing that. I was projecting that in the external world. But by just applying the relationship paradigm in specific work relationships with people reporting to me, with my peers, even with other board members, I just found that it just felt very miraculous that people show up like that. And then I just realized that perhaps, I was the jerk who was looking at them, who never saw the potential. The power of this in the workforce has left me completely baffled by what is possible and how much more I have to do it, and how would the world be if all leaders can learn to do this. The challenge, of course, for me and for several others I've heard, is in our more relationships at home or long-term relationships. For me, with such relationships, especially intimate relationships, it took me a lot more time, not just one time, not just a week that used to happen at work relationships, but much longer. But I would like to say it does transform. That is the conviction today I have, thanks to the Being Centered Leaders journey.